Welcome. Today we're revisiting the Freeware Global 6000 for MSFS, which has been updated for Avionics Update 2. Let's get straight to it. So heading down to the main MFD, go to our flight plan, and you can see the flight plan has been populated from a world map. We're going to insert our cruise altitude about halfway along, so that is 26,000 feet. And once we've done that, you'll see that it then calculates VNAV Descent altitudes for the rest of our flight. With that complete, go over to the speed bugs and turn on the speed bugs for our takeoff and landing. Now on the MCP, we'll set up the autopilot modes we need, so flight director on, nav mode on, and it's going to dial in our cruising altitude, which is 26,000 as we just entered in the MFD. And once that is done, we can activate flight level change mode, and that's all we need to do. So parking brake off and throttles up. After we rotate, as soon as we have positive rate, bring the landing gear up, activate autopilot, and roll off the flaps. In this config, the airplane's sort of in a max climb mode where the throttle's flat out and it's pitching up as much as it can. As soon as it reaches its cruise altitude, it will level off, and of course because we left our throttles in the full position, it continues to accelerate. So to avoid an overspeed condition, we'll activate the auto throttle, which is automatically set to our current speed. The plane will now happily maintain this speed throughout our cruise, and you can see here the throttle moves completely by itself to do that. So while we're at cruise, we can check what our final descent altitude is. So at the final approach fix, it is 2,400 feet. And I'll head back up to the MCP, and we're going to dial in 2,400 feet. Of course, the airplane will maintain its current altitude until it's time to descend. We're going to activate VNAV mode, so when top of descent does come, the airplane will begin descent automatically. On the VNAV page of the flight plan on the MFD, we can see our time to top of descent displayed just for information only. Other things we'll need to check: that our destination ILS frequency is tuned, which it is, but if for some reason it isn't, you just click on the Nav1 radio, enter your desired frequency, and then once you've done that, hit transfer to make it the primary frequency. Additionally, a quick tip: if you want to display the synthetic vision on the PFD, that can be found in the PFD settings. Now we just wait for top of descent. When top of descent arrives, you'll see the V path annunciator on the PFD. The airplane will pitch down to meet its descent path, and because the auto throttle is active, it will maintain its speed. Because this airplane takes quite a long time to decelerate, what I'm going to do as soon as we start to descend is switch the auto throttle over to airspeed mode and enter a desired speed of 250. The airplane will now continue to descend on its path and target a speed of 250 knots. So when we reach our bottom of descent, and we see on the map we're shortly about to make our turn on to final, I'm going to dial in our approach speed, which is 115 that we saw on the V-Speeds page at the start of this flight. As we decelerate, we'll lower the landing gear, and of course we'll also lower the flaps once we reach our approach speed. We're now in a good config for approach. As we make our turn on to final, I'm going to set the nav source over to radio and activate approach mode. As soon as the airplane picks up the localizer, you see the localizer annunciator, and the airplane will turn to follow it. And then once we intercept the glide slope, see the glide slope annunciator. The airplane pitches down and flies on the slope towards the runway. As we reach the runway, all we have to do is land the plane. So autopilot off, auto throttle off, idle the throttle, and land the aircraft. Alright, that concludes our look at the updated Global 6000. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please drop a like and subscribe for more sim content. Take care, and I'll see you next time.